even though we have Godzilla, Godzilla King of the Monsters, Godzilla versus Kong, also Monarch currently streaming on Apple TV Plus, we have Godzilla minus one, and I don't believe is part of the MonsterVerse, or it could be a prequel.
I'm surprised you're not going with the fact that it's been about 70 years since the original.
Well, it's the 70th anniversary then.
Exactly. It says it on the one of the Toy 70th anniversary, because the original was 1954.
So it's not really 70.
Yeah. I don't know why they did that, but they did. I don't believe it is like a part of the MonsterVerse that it's purely going to be the Japanese storyline.
So it's definitely Toho Studios.
Toho Studios, not Americanized. It is a prequel, I will say that, but keep them in their boxes.
Is it safe to say that this is Toho's version of Wolverine?
That he's a fan favorite and he's good at what he does, and what he does is not pretty? Yes.
And that he can come back alive, even though you may think that he's killed, he's dead?
That's a fair assumption.
Rotten Tomato has it as 97% from the critics and 98% by the audience. I'm going to say I agree and disagree.
We'll have to expand on that.
Welcome back to Tales of Two Bros. My name is Angel.
My name is Adan.
What the hell?
I'm sorry, it's just like a really long intro to get to that.
And it's okay. Where we give you a review at least once a week. Spoiler alert. How was your theater experience?
I saw it like at around 10 o'clock at night, and there's always like 30 minutes of previews. There was only like maybe, if this, and this is a high ratio, 5 people besides myself. I probably closer to 4.
I pretty much had the theater to myself. I went to a different location for the time's sake. It was earlier for me.
Yeah, sneak it in.
Well, no, not just that, but I'm saying like I didn't want to wait later, even though there's a theater closer to me. There's several theaters close to me, but they're still later. So I went to the one further away. I know it was great. The seats were great. It was like me and maybe 4 other people.
Yeah, so same amount.
So yeah.
But here's the thing I'm going to say about my experience. When I went to the theater, I didn't go to the one with like the lazy chair recliners, or I should have gone to like IMAX theater. I don't know if maybe the people at the running the theater just don't have love for Godzilla or anything, but it was like the smallest theater. It was the second smallest theater that they had. You could tell like by the rows.
The one I went to, recliners, was not IMAX. It was not any special screening that I knew, but that the reclining seats, leather. It had like a balcony to it, which was really cool. And I'm definitely going again. Now, real quick, credits of directed and written by Takashi Yamazaki. You have starring here, just in case I may say these wrong, even though I studied Japanese in college.
It was his major.
Minor. It was my minor.
What was your major?
Communications. And I'm having trouble saying it right now. Right? I know. Shut up.
Continue.
All right. So we have here starring Minami Amabe, Runosuke Kamiki, Sakura Ando, Konosuke Sasaki, Nitaka Aoki, Yuki Yamada, Hitatake Yoshioka, Yue Endo, Kiyoshi Lida, and one American, Michael Aris.
Yeah, there's like the one guy that had parts in it. I will say this, performance-wise, Kyoichi Shikishima, the one Ryunosuke, I'm probably mispronouncing this too, Ryunosuke Kamiki, who played Shikishima, the main guy.
No, yeah, Kiyoshi.
There you go, Kiyoshi. Didn't recognize it at first, but he's done a lot of voiceover work projects I'm familiar with, and like some of which I've seen. I was like, I had no idea, and I went through it earlier today. I was like, holy cow, he's done some work, and I'm like, okay, cool, but I still have some opinions about him.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed this movie. It like for the rating on Rotten Tomatoes, 97 and 98. Let me say this real quick. I am impressed with it being only a $15 million project.
Yeah, they had a fairly low budget in comparison to
any other
Marvel film. Yeah, throw a dart.
Any Marvel or DC movie, whereas like easily over 100 to produce. This movie, the quality of the film, the special effects, the CGI, done very well. There were moments here and there, slight moments that the CGI was, you could tell was kind of weak, but
But it was
overall,
forgivable.
oh no, it's definitely forgivable, but still meaning that we've seen worse in huge budgeted films. For example, The Flash. For yes, Eternals. Even the Marvels has some wonky CGI in there.
Mhm.
So it was done very well. The Godzilla, where he is like freaking right in front of the live actors.
In some cases, yeah, there were some moments that felt practical. Considering like the OG Godzilla, for decades they would just have a guy in a costume and that to do the practical effects, but
Of
it
course,
didn't
yeah.
feel like that. Even though it felt practical at times.
Like you can really tell it's like that those little fishes, whatever that thing was coming out floating in the water. At times it looked fake.
Sometimes they use CGI to multiply the
Right.
fishes.
But also the train where it comes to Giza.
And it bites the train.
Right. Like you see it moving and it steps. That like it looked like,
which I have a faux pas about that scene, but we'll get to that.
mhm.
It's just a funny little thing.
Oh, yeah, we'll get to that later. Like many Godzilla movies, it's never really about Godzilla. It's really about the people that he or it affects,
Yes.
the humans, the like we have on Monarch on Apple TV. Is not those monsters, even though it's part of that world of the MonsterVerse. It's those characters driving the story. Here we're taking eyes of Kyochi and Noriko, their story, and what's happened to me is about redemption for Koyoshi, because he was a failed kamikaze pilot. He got scared. He felt like even though it was his duty and it was very honorable to be a kamikaze pilot, he had fear, almost as if he had nothing to die for. Why is he doing this? He was like he was forced in this situation, and he found a way out by saying that his plane was faulty.
Yes,
And
but
then he
honestly, he just didn't want to die. Like, to be frank, and which is completely a natural instinct.
Right, but no, but like some people have a purpose. Like they do it for the love of the country, they do it for their family, they do it for other reasons. And he, I guess, didn't have that or find that purpose until the end.
I get the redemption thing, yes, but it's finding the life after war in that regards, because the war was drastic on everybody. Like, yes, he had his traumas and he had like essentially PTSD,
right?
And he was reliving horrible moments, not just from the war, but from Godzilla, and then he's trying to find life even with his dishonor and whatnot.
But he also feels guilty,
Absolutely,
because he won't be the daddy of Akiko. He won't marry Noriko.
correct. Well, he won't even have a relationship with her in that capacity. And so he's refusing to let himself, in essence, live. So he couldn't die. And so he punishes himself and refuses to let himself truly live. Like he just exists to help the others around him until he finds his greatest shame resurfacing.
Also ironic or funny because he's providing for Noriko. He's providing for Akiko. He's being the husband and father without, I guess, that emotional attachment.
Yes.
And I guess he was afraid of letting that happen. He was afraid to
be
vulnerable and be happy, correct. But then we see at the end that he does that. He sacrificed because he loses Noriko.
Yes.
Right, through the attack of Godzilla on Giza, and that he provides Akiko with money and with a proper guardian, and he's going to get his revenge, not just because of Noriko, but of the scientists or the mechanics of the planes from the island that he went
the Odo Island
to. Correct. So and that was kind of predictable though. What happened at the end, I was like,
yeah, I figured that part.
He's gonna live. But
it was either that or the guy was going to disable it. One of the two.
Yeah, but it's like because the head mechanic did blame him for not shooting and all that stuff. There's time to forgive, and then you see that what Koichi is going to do is like I can't let that happen, especially when he has a daughter, he
Yeah.
has a wife, even though they're not his daughter, not his wife, but he has
A
a
family.
life worth living.
He essentially has a family. It's just not
Well, yeah, no, but he has a
proper
life worth
family.
living now,
Yeah.
right? Where Coach, he thought at that moment he does not. When I saw him, the mechanic looking at the seat, I says, "Oh, he's gonna make it. He's gonna make it eject." It was kind of obvious, but I was wondering how he's gonna do it because if he's gonna go down into the throws, like that ejection is not gonna work because he's gonna hit the thing. But he went straight forward, so it was easy to eject. Now, I did enjoy the crew,
Oh,
his crew. They reminded me of crew that you will see in an anime show where they're all like different personas.
well, they each have appropriate nicknames too.
They have the kid. You have
Doc.
who's the Doc? Now, what was the Doc's name? Because I kept seeing. Do you hear my dog?
Just now I did.
Okay. Who was the doctor's name again? Because I can't. They're not showing his face on IMDb.
It wasn't the Shiro Shima, right?
I you know what? I can't remember.
Also as Yuki Yamada. It was Yuki Yamada. That was the one, the doctor.
Was that him? Because he looked a lot like Hello Hot Stuff from 16 Candles. Did he not? The professor, he looked a lot like him. A lot like him.
I mean, it didn't help that the doctor's hair was pretty like it looked like he had a perm situation going on. It was very stylized.
Well, yeah, very stylized, how it is like in anime. Yeah. And the captain was so like Bakrakata!
Yeah, but the captain was so funny too at times. He's like,
no, he was
like the moment where they're going to first face off Godzilla, and they go like, I thought we weren't gonna do it. And he goes, like, but who's gonna do it? Someone has to.
No. Was that what was that in the? We talking about the meeting?
No. When they were like scouting on the boats, and they
gotcha.
And he sees Godzilla just take down the other boat. He goes, what did he say? He says something along the lines like, yeah, maybe you're right. And he starts turning on the engine.
Oh yeah, because because it was chasing them. It started chasing them. No. He had some, really good comedic moments.
He has some good serious moments too, like when he told the kid not to come.
Right, because not saying you were in the military is a good thing as well.
Exactly,
something along that line.
And then he walks away. So you can honor us by living your life, or something along those lines.
Aren't they happy when they showed up? When the kid shows up with a convoy,
he even says that too.
Yeah, he was like, "Thank God." Now, Godzilla.
Pros and cons. Let's go.
I liked him. I like this thing.
Because I remember you weren't the biggest Godzilla fan in general.
I was when I was younger because it was like on Sunday afternoon or Saturday afternoon, they will show like after all those morning cartoons will be done. They'll have either a Godzilla movie or some kind of sci-fi movie always.
Okay.
And so I used to watch those all the time.
I remember you used to joke about like how he has like a dopey bottom side. Like,
are you sure that's me or the God Brothers?
Oh, that may have been our God Brothers. That sounds like that sounds like now that I say that loud.
Yeah, because I mean I did remember watching that, and like there's one where like the twins, like an old one, the twins are praying to Godzilla or communicating with Godzilla or another creature
it was Mothra. They were praying to Mothra, the queen of the monsters.
Okay, so there you go. Like for me, it's like there's like another Godzilla movie, because always coming from Japan and then they bring it over here. Oh, did you watch it in Japanese or English dubbed?
I couldn't find an English dub, but I'm happy I watched it in Japanese.
Me too. There's like anime, you can get away with it in the sense of watching it English or dubbed.
Yeah.
But with here, the emotion, I think a lot of times, I don't think, I know a lot of times when it's dubbed, the intensity, the meaning behind it is not there. It's missed.
Yeah.
Here, you got it. And then, with a big screen, it's easy to read the subtitles.
Yeah, that's true.
So it doesn't take away, because sometimes when you're watching TV or subtitles on TV, you're looking straight at the small subtitles and you're missing what's happening on the screen. Now, with him, I like his gamma ray breath or his fire breath or his heat breath, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
How like it charged up, like you see it coming. It needs to be built up. Where I don't remember in the other the MonsterVerse movies where they show like the tail start to build up like a gun
Yeah, like the spikes coming
blocking
in.
back.
I've
Right. And
seen
then
some monster versions where it shows him building up a charge with a glow, but not with the scales and the spikes coming out like they did here.
right. No, exactly. Yeah. But you see here, you see it building up, just like again, like I said, like a gun ready to load or clock or cock back.
Oh, and then when it fires, it goes
It
popping
just
up,
drops
and it
down.
goes pop, and then
Right. Right. Almost like also like a roller coaster.
kind of,
If you think
yeah.
about it, because you got to build up, build up, build up, and then it just drops. I thought that was really cool. And then we see the damage it does when it lets go in the sense of the buildings, just like a nuclear explosion.
Essentially, like
That's pretty much
because
what it is.
it mushroomed, like everything was blown out, and then you see like it sucked back in like a vacuum.
Right. Exactly. And I thought that was really done well because again, I don't remember any other incarnation of Godzilla that they showed it. They just did it, but didn't really see how in a person's perspective.
To me, like this was the heaviest hitting. Like if this Godzilla faced the American Godzilla and it was like heat blast versus heat blast, the other one, the American, would lose because this one would just devastate whatever it hits.
You can see like from what we've seen from other like footage of actual nuclear explosions.
You could imagine it because it's like we've seen it tons of times in movies and caricatures and in history, even like the mushroom clouds, like the effect.
Right.
So like the imagery is very much there.
And I do like the fact that we see Godzilla as what he is, a monster. He is the villain of the story because people are trying to avoid him, try to live, try to escape. He's the villain. I do like also that he still has scars.
Yeah.
It's not like a complete like Wolverine where Wolverine will totally heal in completion. There's still scars there remaining, especially with the what was it? The bomb that was it not the bomb? Was a sea grenade, whatever you call it, sea mine, whatever you want. I think it's called.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
And Koichi shot it and it blew up his mouth, and but it grew back, and then I guess some of the scales were not fully generated. No, that was great.
Great moment because after it did that and it stood up, I was like, "Oh, he's a dead man." That
it was a zombie. It was like more like a zombie. I was like, "Holy crap!" And and when he did the suicide mission to take Godzilla out, and you see Godzilla like break apart, and which was great timing, by the way. I was like, that's the way to take him out. If you're going to take him out, is when he's about to release another heat ray, and the rays shoot out through the scales and skin and the body. That was awesome in the sense that he just catches it and just stays there. It's like almost like Godzilla itself said, "Oh shit."
Well, no, I think it blew off the top of his head.
No, it didn't, because he caught it right in his mouth.
Yeah, but when it blew it.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying it just stood still for a while, and then that happened. But you have the combination of the blast that he was building up,
the decompression,
and then the resurface, and then you have the bomb on the plane. You have all that, and I also like it when they take him down, and as he's about to shoot, and it just stops, like almost again like another like, oh shit, like he stops himself.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
I'll be honest, watching the film overall, I was bored until the end, where you see Kiyoshi making the decision to sacrifice himself, to see Noriko be taken out, to see that.
You got bored up until the second half of the film.
Well, I mean, I wasn't really.
Because it is a slow burn. I'm not gonna lie.
What it was, I was like, okay.
It's a slow burn. It's not necessarily boring, but it's just it takes a buildup.
But what I'm saying is, like, we're following this guy and his crew and the girl and the daughter. When I saw the reunion, I got emotional. I was like, holy shit. It's like, because he sees his purpose. He sees his family. He's holding his daughter. He's, welcoming his wife.
Yeah.
That's where it hit me. I was like, because like, you don't expect it. Because the thing is, we're on this ride with him and her and them. And then you get hit with that we find out that she's still alive. Now, granted, how?
That was one of my things.
Know.
She got yeeted off that screen in that
Oh
explosion.
my God. Yes.
And she
Her
walked
skin is
away.
relatively.
She walked away with a maybe broken arm and maybe a lost eye. And I'm
But
like,
no, but she also has a scar on her neck.
oh no, I think that's an infection because it grew.
But I looked it up.
It's
It's
radiation
showing
poisoning.
that radiation poisoning from Godzilla's blast. But also, it's supposed to be something else that I kind of
Maybe
got
for a
lost in.
sequel.
For a sequel, yes, that's where they're hinting at. It's going to be a sequel, especially at the end too, where you see at the bottom of the ocean that his body is starting to regenerate, and then you hear him at the end.
He's basically the kaiju version of Doomsday.
He's Wolverine.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, Doomsday for those who are DC fans, Wolverine for Marvel fans.
Yeah, but Doomsday never really grew back. Like he'll just build a callus. Well, he never really generated.
His thing is evolution. Like if anything that kills him, he just regenerates back and it like evolves, so he can't be killed the same way twice. That's Doomsday's thing.
I thought, really? I thought it's because he just gets a harder skin, like exoskeleton.
No, actually, later on, he develops more powers and stuff like that.
Okay, let's go over Fu-Pa's.
Oh, her Notico
from that blast.
The fact that she lived, and also from the train, she jumped from the train at Godzilla's height. It's not like he bent over to let her drop down. She dropped into the water from. That's like jumping off a skyscraper or a huge bridge.
Well, no, it wasn't really from his mouth.
She was dangling from the train.
Right.
Give her like train lower about 20 feet or 30. No, like 50 feet.
I'm just saying the one train or one track, whatever you want to call it, is in his mouth, and she's hanging off the other one. Off the next one. What I find it funny though on that is that when she's walking away in the streets with everybody, she still has her shoes on. I just found I just found it funny that she still had her shoes on, and that Goichi found her easily among those people. I was like, all right, I'll let it go, but that's kind of quick and easy to find. True. Especially, Giza has a big place, but all right, fine. But I mean, yes, that blast and how I expected her to come right back when she got taken back, and she's like,
yeah,
well, yeah, in a sense, like that show how much damage it is. But even though she has that poison in her, she should be more damaged, and like her skin should be
not just like an eye patch, and like a sling on her arm. So like, it looked like you fell down a set of stairs, girl.
But maybe she doesn't have no legs, because we didn't see that part. She didn't get up. She was still seated in the bed. So she probably has no legs. So who knows? Anything else there in the Fu-Pa's?
I mean, there was times where it felt a little bit overacting for the main character. Like when he's trying to be like crying and stuff. And for some reason, it just didn't sit well for me when he's trying, like one of the scenes where he's trying to say, "Is this a dream? Is this a dream?" And I'm like, I get that if you woke up. The first time when it happened, cool. The second time when he's telling her about his past and then he starts going, "Is this a dream?" That just felt out of place.
It felt redundant.
Yeah.
They could have cut it out. They could have kept one or the other.
Yeah. And I like the one with the dream a little bit better. It just felt going right into it better.
Now for Akiko, the girl, the baby, her crying, do you think someone went off screen and pinched her really hard?
It felt forced. She's a child.
Like,
I know.
I know she's a child. So we gotta make her cry somehow. Right. Pinch her foot real hard or pinch her leg. And then, I was like, ow, Jesus.
Grab her.
Because I mean,
break the Barbie.
Maybe something like that. I don't know. It was powerful tears. Like you believed her crying, but it was just, Now for me, the Fu-Pa's is very minimum. I mean, for $15 million, which is freaking unheard of in today's filmmaking.
That's extremely low.
Yeah, and I'm very impressed at how it was done. The film quality was amazing here. The special effects, I will say 97% was done very well.
Yeah, even when they threw the ship and people were looking up and seeing the ship being tossed.
Yes.
You would think that I'll just do a generic ship and throw it in. It looked very detailed. Like the way he would break up when he attacks and goes through the water, swimming through the water. The splashing through the water actually looked really good.
Yes.
And that's the thing I don't think I would ever have said otherwise. It's all CG.
Right. Exactly. Or in a sense, like not all CG, but and it says like two split images, like the boat, and then you splice it with him pulling or swimming, being or chasing the boat in that way. Like, I don't know. Like, I would love to see the behind the scenes of that, how they made that happen.
It would be
That would be
fascinating.
great.
Yeah, it would be
No,
good.
it would be fascinating. Now, for Rotten Tomatoes,
Yep.
you have the score again, 97 by the critics, 98 by the audience. This is worth the watch. Some people are saying it's the best movie of the year. I cannot agree with that. It's very entertaining. I give it a strong 95%.
I would say, as a Godzilla fan and whatnot, I'm gonna go 96. I am gonna go a little bit above you, but that's a high,
Fine.
that's
It's still high.
such a strong review score
Right.
to earn.
Right.
I can't say I doubt it's gonna be considered best film of the year.
But some people are saying that, and it says, well, their opinion is the best movie of the year. Oh, here's what I wanted to say. It's like, do you understand why it's called Godzilla -1?
It's the economy of Japan at the time.
Nope.
I thought it was. I thought it was like post-war.
Yes, but it's not necessarily about the economy, but that him, because they were just bombarded by the atomic bomb.
Yeah.
Okay, that's considered ground zero.
Mm-hmm.
Then they get hit again by Godzilla, and what's below that is -1.
Makes sense.
Granted, it should be.
I mean, he's a walking nuclear reactor, so
true, but it should be -2 because Japan got hit twice by the atomic bomb by days apart. But that's where -1 comes from, because I was like, I don't get it. Then I did the research, of course, especially also with the neck. It's like that. So there you go. Now you know.
I think this really holds justice to the character of Godzilla and the theme of what Godzilla is a force of nature, challenging back to humanity's follies of messing with what they shouldn't mess with, because he's an end byproduct result of nuclear war, nuclear testing. The stories are always about the humanity in itself,
right? I mean, he's basically Frankenstein's monster,
essentially. Yeah.
Who would have liked this? Dad? Butch?
No, Butch wouldn't. No, Dad would. Dad would like.
Mom?
For the people. She would watch it for the people.
True. Eric or Dennis?
Neither.
Again, Eric and Dennis are our god brothers, so
yeah.
And Butch is our godfather. Oh, Yuseli will like it.
Oh, I guess. Yeah.
All right, guys, that is our movie review of Godzilla -1. Have you seen it? What was your favorite moment? And as always, let us know in the comments below if you would like us to review a show or movie for you, and we'll give you a little ring-a-ding. Ring-a-ding.
Shout out.
We'll give you a shout out on that review. Until next time, we'll be the next time. I'm Angel.
I'm Adan.
Love you, bro.
Love you too.